young players make. He's still young. This is only his third year. They're going to depend on him to do a lot because he's going to have to try to match point for point with Patrick Mahomes, or better yet, throw for throw with Patrick Mahomes. And that's a lot.
ESPN's Keyshawn Johnson on KJ and Max. The Steelers put linebacker TJ Watt on IR today. He's expected to miss about 6 weeks with a torn pectoral muscle. He does not need surgery. UConn agrees to pay former basketball coach Kevin Ollie almost $4 million to settle a discrimination claim about his firing back in 2018. Ollie was also paid $11 million in back salary after an arbitrator ruled he was improperly fired. The NBA reaches a new 7-year deal with the league's referees. It runs until 2029 and was approved by an overwhelming majority.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Let's ride.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Man, we are jam-packed today. Ryan Clark in 15 minutes. Eli Manning, bottom of this hour, newly elected Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer. Eli Manning, we'll get to him at the bottom of this hour. Fantasy Blitz started next hour. We'll head to Starkville, check in with our buddy Steve Robertson to get a preview of the Bulldogs. Mike Triplett at 5:15 today. Mike has made his announcement where his new landing spot is. He's leaving ESPN, and he's joining Nick Underhill over at NewOrleans.football. So we will chat with Mike Triplett of NewOrleans.football coming up in hour number 3 to preview Saints and Bucks. Man, it's no secret Saints have owned this series. Saints have won 6 straight in the regular season against Tampa. That is something that is not lost on the Bucks. They, of course, lost the Saints did lose the division round playoff game in 2020 in the Superdome, but 6 straight. As a matter of fact, Tristan Wirfs, the Bucks starting right tackle, during their media availability was asked by a reporter about the Saints kind of dominating Tampa, and he even called to mind what his head coach told the whole team.
You know, it's not a rivalry unless there's some give and take. So, you know, hopefully we can, you know, give it back to them and you know, get it back to a real rivalry. But, yeah, we did get him when it counted, you know, my rookie year. But, you know, we see him twice a year every year. So, got to have some back and forth at least.
The beginning part of that, which wasn't in the clip, is Coach Bowles said today it's not a rivalry unless it's give and take. I mean, that's something that Todd Bowles, the head coach, has said to his team. This is clearly one that Tampa wants to get. So they'll have to come in the Dome to get it, and the Saints have just been really perfectly equipped to stop Tampa from doing what they do well. Yesterday, the story, of course, was the injury report. The Saints had just a very extensive injury report. If there was one bit of good news, it was that the only player who was not participating was Paulson Adebo. Now, of course, you want Paulson Adebo out there, but overwhelmingly, everyone was limited, which means they're mostly on track to play. You're just taking it easy on them throughout the start of the week. I mean, Cameron Jordan, Alvin Kamara, Marcus May, Traquan Smith, Dwayne Washington, Jameis Winston, Landon Young, Mark Ingram, Calvin Throckmorton, Alante Taylor, all limited. And then Paulson Adebo did not participate. We actually do have the updated injury report already for Thursday, which just dropped. So here it is. Let's run through it. Cameron Jordan, again, was limited. Alvin Kamara did not practice today. We're going to come back to that. Marcus May, who was limited on Wednesday, was a full participant on Thursday. That's great news. Also, Calvin Throckmorton, who was limited with illness, was a full participant. Everyone else who was limited on Wednesday was limited again. Traquan Smith, Dwayne Washington, Jameis, Landon Young, Mark Ingram, Alante Taylor, all limited. Paulson Adebo, again, did not practice. At this point, you'd have to look at that and say it's more likely than not that Adebo would not be available for this week. Now, let's go through a couple of those in particular. Like we mentioned, Kamara was limited on Wednesday, did not practice on Thursday. It's interesting because Dennis Allen was on his coach's conference call on Wednesday, and he was asked about why they signed Latavius Murray.
Murray, present.
Here's what he said.
Just getting another vet back in here that we, are comfortable with, that we know, that knows our system. He was obviously, he was already a guy that we were kind of keeping an eye on a little bit. And I think once we kind of got through week 1 of the season, and had a little bit better feel for exactly who all we had, we wanted to go ahead and bring him in here. And I think that's a positive addition. He looked really good out there running around today.
Oh, with the Jerusalem tulip. Oh. You don't know anything about flowers. Right. Come on, y'all. Let's be real. You can... Again, don't listen to what I'm saying. Watch what I'm doing. Dennis Allen on Wednesday is out here saying, hey, why did you re-sign Latavius Murray? We've been keeping an eye on him. Good player, familiar. We felt like we might need another back. And then Thursday, Kamara's out. Not practicing. I mean, y'all, this ain't rocket science. You understand what's happening. Like Alvin Kamara hurt his ribs. There's a really good chance he's not going to play. He tried to run around a little bit on Wednesday. It didn't go so great. They sat him today. You got Latavius Murray out there to have a veteran back who knows how to play on Sundays, who you've counted on, who knows your system and all that sort of stuff. More so than anything, this is a pretty good indicator that Alvin Kamara is not on target. If you're not practicing on Thursday, you're up against it to be ready against Friday now, or for Sunday. Now, a player of Alvin Kamara's stature, sure, Kamara don't need to practice. Just get him treatment ready to go on Sunday if he can play. But that's not a good sign. Not only that he's not practicing, but that you brought in another back clearly for the purpose of, or the possibility of Kamara not playing. So we'll continue to watch that one. Here was Dennis Allen on Wednesday, again, when he was asked about Jameis Winston.
Dennis, how is Jameis doing today? He had said after the game that he was kind of hurting. But he was at practice.
He seems to be doing much better today. So it was good to see. We kind of limited the practice a little bit, but it was, he was able to get out there and move around and take some reps and look pretty good in doing it.
Okay, so limited for Jameis on Wednesday, limited again for Jameis on Thursday. By the way, here was Jameis talking about how he feels.
How are you feeling physically now as opposed to immediately after the full game?
Well, I'm still getting over some, first game soreness. But, it always feels good coming off with a win.
So we know why Jameis went to the medical tent, little back issue. You never want to hear that it's a back issue. That's just not a good thing. I mean, for very obvious reasons. I mean, anyone who's dealt with back pain understands what that means. But the fact that he is out there is significant. So hopefully, as we continue through the week, that maintains. Now, as for the Bucs, their injury report, we have a couple of updates on the Bucs injury report from Wednesday to Thursday. And this is not good, by the way, for Tampa. Mike Evans, who was limited on Wednesday, did not practice on Thursday. And we have talked quite a bit about Tampa and my feeling about this offense. Of course, Chris Godwin is out. We know that he's going to be out with the hamstring injury. Chris Godwin's out. Mike Evans is now limited. There's no Gronk anymore. Antonio Brown went AWOL. Like, you had massive turnover on that offense. And then Ryan Jensen, the center. We've talked about Ali Marpet retiring. You lost another guard in free agency. Another guard got hurt. Last week, Donovan Smith got injured against Dallas. I mean, that offense is injured right now. Mike Evans went from limited to did not participate. That's another weapon down for Brady. Tom Brady didn't practice on Wednesday, was back on Thursday, but that we all understand what that is. Russell Gage was limited. He went from a DNP to limited, so Gage may be back. Donovan Smith, their starting left tackle, did not practice for the second consecutive day. Fournette was limited again. Brashad Perriman was limited again. Tristan Wirfs was limited again. Julio Jones, again, back-to-back days, did not practice. Let me not miss that. So on Thursday, Mike Evans and Julio Jones both did not practice. Russell Gage was limited. Leonard Fournette was limited. Tristan Wirfs, the starting right tackle, was limited. And Donovan Smith, the starting left tackle, did not practice. And the interior of your line is brand new. Y'all, this is already a bad matchup for Tampa, as we've seen over the last 3 years. Now you're going to take this much away from that offense. You start to feel better and better and better about New Orleans on Sunday in the Dome against the Bucs. All right, it's after further review. Eli Manning, bottom of this hour. Ryan Clark in about 15 minutes. We are jam-packed today and glad you're with us. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Tell you every day they're expanding healthcare in the Baton Rouge area. You know where to find them at brgeneral.org. If it's the Pennington Cancer Center at the Bluebonnet campus, the ER at Mid-City, Bluebonnet, or the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital, it's right, Ascension Parish, you now have emergency care in your parish, thanks to the Baton Rouge General Hospital. The Regional Burn Center, which is, if you think about it, this is the region, the whole region. The Regional Burn Center is at the Baton Rouge General Mid-City location. So much healthcare expertise, and they extend that by partnering with the Mayo Clinic as part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to brgeneral.org, tap the Learn More tab right there on the homepage about the Mayo Clinic Care Network, and learn about how your doctor, your physician here in Baton Rouge, offers clinical collaboration with the experts at the Mayo Clinic at no extra cost to you. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only
It's time to talk Tigers with former LSU safety Ryan Clark. Presented by DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today.
DraftKings also, as I learned, sponsor of The Pivot. Check it out. Make sure you get to YouTube and check out The Pivot podcast with our guy RC. Ryan, how are you?
What's up, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, by the way, what can you give us a little teaser on what's coming up on The Pivot for Friday? Are y'all gonna drop one Friday?
Man, no, we got something for y'all. You know, like we move around. This is a very fluid, process. And we were supposed to be in Atlanta. That started to fall through, and we had the bright idea of, man, it would be really cool if like we could get a player that's going to be in a marquee matchup, or a player that is, you know, extremely good and going to be to give us some good tea on something coming up. Well, Darius Slade Jr., all-pro corner, Pro Bowler, has a matchup Monday night against one Justin Jefferson.
Oh!
And just in talking about the game and Justin, he said, and this is a little teaser, there's only one wide receiver on earth that he thinks is even better than Justin Jefferson. So, you know, he's saying he's top three and he's not three. So it's a good show because it's also done in our way, and you know, it shows that you can make it from difficult circumstances. Darius Slade's mother had him when he was 13.
Oh wow!
He had his first son when he was 15. That means his mother was a 28-year-old grandmother. And it was just the two of them and their support system. And so it ended up being really good.
Wow. That's incredible. So that'll drop Friday.
Yes, sir. That drops tomorrow.
All right. We'll look forward to it. Ryan's with us on Twitter at RealRClark25. RC, one of the big storylines this week around LSU taking on Mississippi State is they're having a little shakeup in the secondary. So Jay Ward's going to move down to nickel, and Greg Brooks is going to move to safety. What do you think about it?
You know, I think the first thing is that Jay Ward can play whatever he wants. So, and then we had that conversation. He obviously had no issue tackling, no issue with the physicality that will come with being the contained or the box defender. And we also have to remember from a cover skills standpoint, this is a guy who came into LSU as a corner in the year that Stingley was recruited. Mm-hmm. Obviously, nobody else was going to play corner but Stingley. So That was that. I think that I love the move for him. I think it shows his versatility. And I also believe that Greg Brooks, with his skill set, his speed, his willingness to mix it up, will be a good safety as well. I would like to know the reasoning, right? Is it that Jay Ward gets closer to the ball? You feel like as maybe your best secondary defender, this allows him to make more plays. It kind of puts me in the mind of what Jalen Ramsey did as the star defender at Florida State. I think he can have that same type of impact.
Does Greg Brooks? So Ward, you mentioned Ward has played nickel. He's also played safety. Greg Brooks at Arkansas has played safety. Is there any thought that, hey, look, you're playing Mississippi State this week where you've got to be really sound? That's a place where Greg Brooks has played that position against this offense already, so maybe it's just a familiarity thing?
I think so, but yeah, if you think back, you remember if you remember the year that we thought the guy that quarterback for Mississippi State was going to win the Heisman.
Oh yeah.
After they played us.
Costello.
Like shortly after that, they played Arkansas and he got dang near benched. And something during that game was Greg Brooks got an interception playing the nickel there. And so I think that Greg has played inside and started inside since he's been in college, and I think the move is very natural for him. It would just be like the particulars of why they think those players switching make them not only better as a unit, but will help them individually. That'd be a conversation, I'd love to have with the secondary coach.
He's on Twitter at RealRClark25. Ryan Clark's with us, talk some Tigers here every Thursday. RC, I do want to talk specifically about, about this air raid offense and defending it, and it would seem outside looking in like it's so critical for the defensive backs because they throw it a ton. Is that accurate, or is it a bigger game for linebackers to cover or defensive line to pressure? Like where are the pressure points this week on that defense?
I mean, you gotta realize like pass defense is an 11-man thing, and obviously secondary players are often pinpointed because they're the last you see in the pass game. When the guy catches the bomb, it's the fact that the cornerback is chasing, and then the safety ends up being right next to the guy when he crosses over the goal line. But where was the pressure? Where was the bump or the shuck at 5 yards? So many things go into it. So I think every level has to play well. Here's the one thing about the air raid. The air raid does not change, right? Like they're going to – it's one of those things, just like the triangle in basketball. The triangle didn't change. Like the pieces changed, right? That Michael Jordan was in the middle of the triangle in Chicago and Kobe Bryant was in the middle of the triangle and Shaq in the middle of the triangle in Los Angeles, but it was the exact same offense. That's what the air raid is. They're going to do the same thing every week, week in and week out, with slight adjustments to the defense they're playing. But you are who you are. Like my grandmother used to say, you get what you get, you don't pitch a fit. And so I think that you need pressure, but you need complete tie-in on the back end. Because if you understand the formations and what you get out of each formation, you can actually use that to your advantage in ways to create plays. And that's why I think the zone is good against it. Like good zone teams play well. You can point to Arkansas and the way they played defense the last few years, because now you're making the quarterback have to figure out the pockets to throw it to instead of being able to see it before the snap, because they're going to do the same thing every time anyway. And so I look forward to seeing how LSU employs their defensive back in stopping the air raid this week.
RC, was Mississippi State impressive in their win at Arizona, like going to Tucson and winning, by double digits?
Not really.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Not really. I don't. And obviously Arizona this year in their second year with their head coach is better than they were last year. But this is a team. The last time I saw them in person, they got beat by double digits by their in-state rival. I expect the Mississippi State to beat Arizona, in that way. I think the other piece of it is now we know who the quarterback is. Right. We don't have to discuss that anymore. And so moving forward is, how do you help Five be the best that he can be now that you're getting into some of these SEC games, which for him, it'll be his first atmosphere like that.
RC, answer that question if you would. So how does LSU help Jaden Daniels be the best version of himself in conference play?
You know what's crazy, bro? He's the coolest cat I've ever met.
What you mean?
It's
like just like calm?
He's almost like frustratingly calm. You know what I mean? Like you want to see a guy like strain a little bit. You want to see a guy stress them. Like, hey, this is a big game. And I talked about it, the first call we had headed into week one. I watched him against Oregon. Justin Herbert's last year. We all know how good Justin Herbert is now. On ABC, game of the week, go for 300 yards, finish the game with a 75-yard pass to win it to Brandon Ayuk. I've watched him throw interception and smile walking off the field, which is frustrating, right? Because you're like, dude, you just threw an interception.
Right.
But he's actually like just that unbothered. Like I can't remember what his senior year stats were, but there was something like out of worldly when he was in high school. He has ultimate belief in who he is as a player, and he believes that he's supposed to be here anyway. And so I think that, once this game gets started, you'll see some of the poise and some of the things that will make Jaden a good fit for this LSU team. Like moving forward, like 4 years from now, maybe Jaden's not the quarterback you have in mind. Maybe you expect LSU to have Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud or Quinn Ewers. But right now, I think he's the perfect fit for what they have as a team and what they're trying to accomplish.
That's a great point. RC, before you go week 1 to week 2, now to week 3.
Mm-hmm.
What what sort of noticeable progress would you expect to see from LSU against Mississippi State? If there's one thing you'd point to and say, all right, at this point, this needs to be noticeably better than what it's been.
I think protection is the first thing, right? I think back-end coverage would be the second. And the reason I mentioned those two things, because those two things are chemistry, continuity, and reps, right? You're talking about tying in 5 people to do the right thing, sometimes 6, from the standpoint of offensive line play. And then you look at the secondary, it's the same thing. These are guys who hadn't gotten a ton of reps with one another. And the more reps you get, whether it be in practice or game time, you expect those things to be better. And if they aren't progressing, then your team can't get progressively better. And so I think when you look at the Florida State film and then look at the film from this game, those are the 2 areas you should want to see the most progress gained.
Make sure you check out The Pivot. New episode dropping tomorrow, so Tuesdays, Fridays. Go to YouTube, subscribe if you haven't done so yet, or however you get your podcast. It's The Pivot or The Pivot Podcast. You can type it in, you'll see it pop up. It's incredible work, and we're really fortunate to have RC with us here for about 15 minutes or so every Thursday. RC, you're the best, man. We appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you, man. Remember, man, now that you have a refined palate, make sure you're drinking the right thing.
Hey, man, come out to Oliver Twist one Wednesday. Well, you're probably traveling, but when the season ends, come out and join us one day.
I will, my brother. Have a good one, dog.
All right, RC. We'll see you, man. That was a reference from Scone and T last night on Oliver Twist when T-Bob, did what T-Bob does all the time. I love what RC said there. Protection and back-end coverage are what he wants to see improve because chemistry, continuity, and reps improve those things, and with time they should get better. So let's see if they do on Saturday against Mississippi State. All right, yesterday Paul Byrd was with us, newly elected Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer. Coming up here after this break, we'll chat with Eli Manning. We're looking forward to it. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, locations all over, not only Louisiana, but sea to shining sea, 29 offices in 11 different states. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, and rent the products you use to weigh and measure. ISO 17025 accreditation is available, and they are local, celebrating 75 years in business. Just awesome people. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, online at Michelli.com. Eli Manning joins us next on AFR.
AFR.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at RevelryTeam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Well, the Mannings have pulled off another trifecta. Archie is a Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer. Peyton previously inducted as well. And as we learned this week, Eli Manning, a member of the 2023 Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction class. He's good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Eli, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, it's our pleasure. Congratulations. Walk me through, if you would, getting the news. What was it like?
Yeah, just got a call, from the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, and just letting me know that I've been inducted into the class, and got to hear a few of the other members that were joining with me. So I was excited to hear that. A lot of great baseball players, LSU baseball players. Matt Forte, who I was watched at Tulane, played in the NFL a long time with, got to know really well, and saw around Louisiana. Wendell Davis, another great football LSU wide receiver. So excited to go in with this whole class, and so obviously very proud of where I'm from and playing sports in Louisiana. I take great pride, in Louisiana sports and just all the great athletes across all the sports. When you kind of hear someone's from Louisiana, you keep up with them a little bit more, whether it's, football, baseball, basketball, track and field, whatever sport it might be. You root for them a little bit harder, you keep up with them, and you always take great pride in where you came from. And it was an honor to play football down in Louisiana.
Man, it's so interesting because everybody knows you and your family and your story. I've always wondered, you have a dad that played professionally. Both of your older brothers were phenomenal players as well. And being the little brother, when did you know you were good?
I think I kind of figured it out probably my sophomore year in high school that I wanted to go play college football. And so I just really took it one step at a time. And, I love playing sports, and we grew up playing every sport. I played baseball, basketball, football, through high school. I eventually gave up baseball towards the end just so I could concentrate on football a little bit more. it just got overwhelming trying to play all three sports and everything going on. But I wanted to be on a team. I love my teammates. I love doing working at it and trying to improve. And so but I think my sophomore year became the full-time starter, had some success, and really got the bug on trying say, hey, I want to be really good at this, and I'm going to get my receivers, and we're going to work in the summer, and I'm going to go to camps, and I'm going to ask questions of my dad and to Peyton, and try to figure out how I can get better and learn, but the goal was really to try to win a state championship. That's all you're really working on. I wanted to hopefully go play college football someday, but at that moment, it's all about staying in the moment and trying to be the best teammate and be the best player so you can go win a state championship.
Hey man, a lot of Mannings have worn that Newman greeny uniform right now, and Arches obviously as well. It's funny, Eli. Like we're showing on the screen on the video component of the show some of your old photos, like playing at Newman, and we actually see you on TV here every day because we have Barbecue Guys commercials with you and Arch that roll through here. Like we see them every single day. Like, has that always been natural for all of you? In the family to be so comfortable? I mean, from the distance is Sports Center stuff to the stuff you're doing with Caesars and everything, like Eli's Places, Manning Cast. I mean, you've all done so much media. Is that just natural?
No, I think it's something that took some time. I think we're fortunate early on. When we were doing some of this stuff, we were doing it together. I got to do commercials with Peyton or with my dad, so you're comfortable already. And then they would start, kind of say, what would you do in this scenario? What would you say? So you kind of learned how to be yourself or let your own personality come out a little bit. And then, and then you kind of, sometimes you had to do something a little bit that was, out of your comfort zone. And so you could, make it funny also. And I think that was just the idea of always, taking your job very seriously and your football and doing that and working extremely hard, but never taking yourself so seriously that you couldn't be on a commercial or you couldn't put yourself out there to do something a little bit different for the sake of getting a laugh.
Dude, it's hilarious. Like the video mapped up so perfectly because as you're talking about taking what you do very seriously, we were showing the This Is Sports Center commercial where you're giving Peyton a wet willy. So I mean, it mapped up perfectly actually. Eli Manning's with us for a couple more minutes here. Newly elected member of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame class of 2023. The induction ceremony will be in late July in Natchitoches, which is a really awesome event. Look, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is just another in a long list of honors for you, having your jersey retired at Ole Miss, as we saw, and obviously with the Giants as well, and a long list of accolades. The Pro Football Hall of Fame has to be next, which would clearly be the pinnacle. Are you running out of space to put all of this stuff, like awards? Like where do you keep all this stuff?
I do a good job of making room in the house. Do a good job of sending some stuff back to Newman, where I went to, sending stuff back to Ole Miss. So they're always happy to take any trophies and put things up in the trophy cases. So do a good job spreading it out, but. It's really about the memories. It's about the high school memories that I have with my buddies, guys who I played pickup football with as kids, and then later on they're my receivers, and you're playing with them, or you're playing basketball with them in the front yard and backyards, and then next thing you know they're your center, or they're your tight end, and so. The same across all the levels, just the relationships and the friendships and the life lessons that you learn through sports. Those are the things you play for and that you take from it. It's not the trophies.
Eli, look, we're obviously on all throughout Louisiana, and so people here will remember your time at Ole Miss so much, and you played some epic games. I mean, the big comeback in Baton Rouge in 2001, that epic game in Oxford in 2003. I'm sure you can't do an interview without people talking to you about the 2 Super Bowls. But what for you? Like, I mean, if I said you couldn't mention the 2 Super Bowls, which obviously are what they are, but those like legacy defining games. Are there things or games or moments when you think back on your time in football that you're most proud of or remember most fondly?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many games that come up, and depending on who you're talking to or what the mood is, you can recall ones that you might have just forgot about for a little bit. But that 0-1 game that you mentioned in Tiger Stadium, my first time, coming back to Tiger Stadium, playing in a game, walking on that field pregame, seeing the student section get let in the stadium and rushing down into their seats. They had a chant going about me and signs up within 30 seconds.
I might have been part of that, Eli.
Yeah, exactly.
I
think I remember you.
I actually 100% was part of that, actually. So sorry about that. Yeah, you had the last laugh that day.
No, but those are special moments. I mean, that's what sports and traditions are all about. And it's not personal. You appreciate them as a fan and as a person who grew up, going to LSU games and being there, and you see it and you get it and you understand it and know the traditions all across the SEC. And so, those are big time games. The same, 3 years later or 2 years later, we're in Oxford basically playing for, the winner of Ole Miss LSU going to the SEC championship game and, having a nail biter down there that we lose. And there's still, great moments in college. We beat Alabama my sophomore year for the first time in 12 years. So, those are just great moments in college, great games. You remember the players, you remember the plays, you remember the moments with your fans and the energy and the excitement. And so, there's so many, great moments in my high school, college, NFL career that I take home. And it's not just the championships, it's the wins, it's certain plays, it's the practices, it's the two-a-days that you're going through, or bus rides and plane rides that you're just after a win that you always, remember and take home with you.
We're short on time, and I'm going to be respectful of that, but I have two more quickly. One, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about Arch because it's such a big story here. What do you think of him at this point in his career? Obviously, you and your brothers having played at such a high level in high school also.
Well, it's been fun to watch him. It's been fun to watch him grow, since his freshman year. I feel like he's gotten so much, bigger. He's taller. He's running well. He's running through tackles. I think he's making better decisions in the pocket, and that just comes with experience and knowing when to make a play and when not to try to make one. And that's something it's forever a learning process. And so, but it's been great to see him want to learn more about the game of football. And every time I see him now, asking better questions about coverages, about defenses, about concepts that work for certain coverages. And so just, he's a sponge wanting to learn the game of football. And I think that's great. That's what a quarterback's got to do. You got to know not only the responsibilities of every person on the offense, you got to know the responsibilities of every person on the defense. And if they're in this coverage, what they're supposed to be doing and where they're going to be, and where are people going to be open because of what they're playing. And so the earlier you can jump on that and start to understand that, the better you'll be later on in making faster decisions.
Eli, before you go, man, I mentioned barbecue guys. I think people know you bought into Gotham Football Club, Manning Cast, Eli's Places. You have so much going on. Like, you're obviously working in football with the Giants. What's next? Like, do you have a goal, like a long-term goal that you'd love to achieve?
No, I think I love what I'm doing right now. I really do. It's fun. It's fun doing Eli's Places, where I'm going around the college campuses and learning about different traditions and learning about the history of college football. I think that's getting to see the players, see the coaches, hear the history around all these organizations. Doing Monday Night Football with my brother Peyton, keeps me involved in the NFL. I still get to talk to coaches and quarterbacks of the games we're calling and get to pick their brain a little bit and keep those connections and relationships up. And, doing, like you said, doing, commercials for barbecue guys, doing that with my brother, a great Louisiana company. And so those are the things that keep me going. It's just trying to find that right balance of staying busy, but also have enough time to be around my kids. My kids are getting into great ages, age 11 down to age 3, got 4 of them, and coaching them up on their sports and being involved in their athletic careers as they get going. And so just try to soak it all in and enjoy it all, and just try to keep doing the things that make me happy. And I think I found that good balance.
It's obviously a deserved honor, a no-brainer. Newly elected Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer Eli Manning, good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us. Very generous with your time, man. We sincerely appreciate it. Congrats again from all of us here.
Thanks so much. Great being with you.
That's our pleasure. He's on Twitter at Eli Manning. Give him a follow. Eli, good enough to spend a couple of minutes. Guy's really busy, so I sincerely appreciate him carving out 10 minutes to hang out with us here. I was 100 million% involved in the 2001. I was a sophomore at LSU when they would open the gate. If you were, I don't know if they still do this. Muse, when you were a student, did you get to the gate early, the student gate early?
No.
We were literally the first people at the student gate. So we had physical tickets then, so we'd get the pre-tear. So as soon as they started to roll up the gate, we'd run under, and then you sprint up the ramp and down the stands to get your seat. We were always front row, like by the turn. And 100% was part of that flood down. And then the Eli chant was I'm not
probably not radio appropriate.
Not probably.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely not. There was that one. There was one for Steve Spurrier with Florida that was colorful. Florida really did a number on LSU in 2001, though. Really.
They really did a number on LSU a lot.
Yeah, under Spurrier. 2001 was 2001 was such an interesting year. We're late, but I got to go. But that sort of a parallel to this year, watching the team grow. LSU lost to Tennessee in Knoxville. They got blown out by Florida. They started 0-2 in the league with those 2 games. And then it looked like they were gaining some traction. And then Eli came in and beat and upset LSU, fourth quarter comeback. That was really his announcement to the league that day in Tiger Stadium. And you thought, man, LSU blew their chance to get to Atlanta again. They got some help that year where Alabama beat Auburn, setting up a de facto SEC West championship game in the game that was postponed from 9/11. You all know the history. LSU won it, went on to beat Tennessee in the rematch, and you saw them go win the Sugar Bowl. It was just a team that kept getting better as the season goes along. I think this team is going to be similar. I'm not telling you they're a Sugar Bowl team or anything like that, but I think it's a team that similarly will, in November, we will look back and go, man, I'd love to play Florida State now, because this team would do a number on that team. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. We'll wrap up hour number 1 next. We're going to move our Fantasy Blitz to the start of hour 2, so get your questions in for Darin Tietgen. That's coming up in about 15 minutes on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery, 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. It's Pluckers. Remember, a Thursday night football tonight. You can get what a game tonight, by the way. If you don't have NFL Prime, well, shame on you. Or excuse me, on Prime Video, shame on you. But if you need a place to watch, cool, go to Pluckers. They'll have the game on tonight. Chargers, Chiefs. What an awesome way to kick off Thursday night football of the Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung era of Thursday night football. You need a place to watch and get by Pluckers. Every Thursday, all you can eat boneless wings. So get them by either Pluckers location. Watch the game tonight. Eat as many wings as you want. Drink beer. It'd be awesome. Great night. Make it a night of it at Pluckers. Also, all of your football Saturday and NFL Sunday tickets. So if you need a place to watch every game to monitor your fantasy team, you could do it at Pluckers every Sunday. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery tonight and every Thursday. All you can eat boneless buffalo bites at Pluckers if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, thanks to Ryan Clark, Eli Manning. If you missed that, you can catch it on demand, presented by Brett Golf. Fantasy Blitz in less than 10 minutes from right now. We got to move quickly, though, so let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Georgia Bulldogs.
So with the SEC calling off the Georgia-Oklahoma home and home, Georgia has announced they will now host Ball State in 2023. Georgia has additional home games that year against UT Martin, UAB, and Georgia Tech. Of course, they play Georgia Tech every year. So the game against the Yellow Jackets is now the only Power 5 game in the non-conference Georgia will play next season. Bulldogs also have a home and home with Texas for the 2028-2029 season. That will obviously have to be canceled the same way LSU's Oklahoma series is. Georgia's got future series against Florida State, Ohio State, UCLA, Louisville, and Clemson.
The Florida Gators.
Some injury update news there in Gainesville. Starting right tackle Michael Tarquin and starting inside linebacker Ventrell Miller both are out for Florida's contest against South Florida on Saturday due to lower body injuries, although Billy Napier did not specify the severity. Tarquin and Miller both suffered lower leg injuries during Florida's loss to Kentucky and Gainesville this past Saturday, and neither returned after exiting with the injury. Tarquin was replaced by redshirt freshman Austin Barber, but without Miller on the field, they moved senior linebacker and star defensive back Amari Burney over from star to the role in the middle alongside true freshman Shamar James. South Florida, though, has won just 4 of its last 23 games, so the Gators should be good.
The Auburn Tigers.
And Auburn picked up a commitment from Adam Hopkins, a 4-star wide receiver, number 189 nationally. Auburn's got 8 verbal commits for this upcoming class, including the number 1 running back in Alabama and Hopkins, the number 1 receiver in Georgia. Hopkins is a 6-foot, 170-pounder. Picked Auburn over Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Florida State. Tigers still dead last in the SEC in recruiting class rankings for next year. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, GCOPnet.com. GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Let me knock out a quick break, y'all. SportsCenter's coming up. We'll get you caught up on national headlines, and then when we come back, our Fantasy Blitz. Get your fantasy football questions in. Darin Tietgen is next.
AFR.
Remind you about GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans at GMFS Mortgage. They do it all. Maybe you're looking for a cash-out refi. That's a great option to take some of your home's equity and use that cash to be able to do that home improvement project. Maybe you want to add the outdoor kitchen or the pool, or maybe you want to add another room to the house or redo your outside, whatever it may be, redo floors, whatever. You could do it. It's a great option. So get in touch with a local loan officer at GMFS Mortgage and let them go through what options may be available to you. At GMFS, they've got tons of experience, y'all. They're our state's largest local lender, number 11 in the country among USDA lenders for 2022. They're a massive company that does things the right way, and they say they want to be your lender for life. They are for me, and GMFS Mortgage could be for you as well. So learn more online. Get in touch with a local loan officer at GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives.
Come on over to Corval Toyota and meet with a sales specialist to build your new Toyota. It's easy and stress-free. Or if you're looking for a pre-owned, we have a wide variety. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Chargers and Chiefs tonight at Arrowhead, the first game of Week 2 in the NFL. Chargers wideout Keenan Allen out for this one with a sore hamstring. ESPN's Diana Rossini.
They do like their weapons. They do. So this isn't a situation where they're panicking. But let's just face the reality here. When you don't have your top receiver, the guy that the offense runs through, you're immediately at a disadvantage.
Diana Rossini on Get Up. Seahawks safety Jamal Adams will likely miss the rest of the season. He needs surgery for a left quad injury. Wideout Xavier Restrepo is out for 13th-ranked Miami's game at number 24 Texas A&M Saturday. Restrepo out indefinitely with a foot injury. Roger Federer announces on social today he's retiring from the tennis tour after next week's Laver Cup. Federer is 41. He holds 20 Grand Slam titles, third on the men's all-time list behind Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. He had knee surgery about a month ago. He hasn't played since Wimbledon of 2021.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt, I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Soup. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. All right, we're heading to Stark Vegas in 13 minutes from right now. Check in with Steve Robertson from Gene's page, to get a preview of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And then Mike Triplett next hour as well. Mike Triplett now of New Orleans Football next hour to talk some Saints. Right now, though, let's set your fantasy roster.
After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.com.
Who the hell are you?
whotostart.com.
Peekaboo.
The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the pittance?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz, powered by whotostart.com on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 104.5ESPN.com.
All right, we appreciate Darin Tietgen for being flexible, whotostart.com. Normally at the end of hour 1, we'll do it here at the start of hour 2 today. Darin, we appreciate the time. How are you?
I'm doing good. That intro music gets me every time.
We've been running the same open for, what are we on, like 9 years now, something like that?
I think it's closer to 10, Matt.
Has it really been 10 years?
Yes, sir.
It's been 10 years. Darin, you've been such a part of my life now for 10 years. In 10-minute increments every Thursday during football season. But you've been a constant, and for that I thank you. And every week I always ask you about the Thursday night game, so let's get to it. A good one tonight, man. Chargers, Chiefs. What do we keep an eye on tonight?
Well, hopefully you get Amazon Prime so you could actually watch the game.
I do, thanks to my wife, because she buys everything there is to buy on Amazon.
There you go. It should be a high-scoring game. Obviously Patrick Mahomes, we saw him last week distribute the ball to a host of receivers, so we're going to be keying on who his favorite target is tonight. Probably Juju Smith-Schuster and, of course, Travis Kelce. But those secondary receivers, we're still not 100% sure on who those are. Speaking of receivers, the Chargers are going to be without Keenan Allen. So look for tight end Gerald Everett and possibly their number 3 wide receiver Palmer to step up in Allen's place with Allen being out with that hamstring injury.
All right. Any sleepers this week?
Yeah, we like Trey Lance. Obviously, last week's game in rainy Chicago wasn't a true test of what he could do. Like him a lot better this week against the Seahawks. Running back Dontrell Hilliard looks like he might be a nice PPR option, spelling Derrick Henry in Tennessee. Curtis Samuel looks kind of like a Deebo Samuel light, not quite as much running, but will get you some points, both running and receiving. And then I already mentioned Gerald Everett, the tight end for the Chargers, should have a good game tonight against the Chiefs.
All right, let's get to your questions. You know the drill. Fire away. If you got personalized fantasy football questions, our guys at Who to Start are here to help. Remember, you go to the website, use the code ESPN. They'll give you 10% off as well. So use the code ESPN for 10% off at whotostart.com. All right, fire away with your questions. Let's start with Jason Gibson, who said, hey, Matt, who to start PPR league? He's got Alvin Kamara or Kareem Hunt.
I'm probably playing Kamara. The matchup's tough, but I think in those tougher matchups, he tends to catch more balls. So if you're in a PPR format, I think Kamara is probably your play out of those two.
You're probably going to get a lot of Dak questions this week. Jordan Lacombe said, with Dak hurt, should I keep CeeDee Lamb in over Jerry Jeudy?
No, I would play Jeudy, but don't worry about Lamb. Cooper Rush in his game last year actually looked pretty good and did target Lamb quite a bit, but until that tandem is back in flux, then I would probably play Jeudy.
Tyler Hunt said, who to start at flex PPR? He's got McLaurin, Waddle, or Duvernay. Who to start?
I'm going to play Waddle, especially in PPR formats. I think he's going to catch a ton of balls this week with the opposing defense keying on Tyreek Hill.
Who to start at QB? He's got Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr.
We really like Carr this week. Arizona is not going to be. Well, we saw what Mahomes did to them last week, and figured that this will be a good week for Carr. I'd play Carr.
Who to start? Gerald Everett or Dawson Knox.
Yeah, like I said, talking about the sleepers, Everett's one of our sleeper tight ends this week with Keenan Allen out. I would probably go with Everett.
Let's see. This PPR league, Rusty Ferreira says he's got Stevenson or Travis Etienne. Who do you like? Who to start?
Well, I would probably play Stevenson. It looks like Montgomery for the Patriots was put on IR, so Montgomery or Stevenson may actually catch a few balls this week. So yeah, if you are in the PPR league, I would probably play Stevenson by air there over ETN this week.
I figured we'd start getting Dak questions. Here's one from Brennan Thibodeau. Said, I have Dalton Schultz as my tight end. Should I still trust him as the starter with Dak out, or should I look to the waiver wire? If so, who would be a good replacement?
Well, again, Everett's name will pop up again. If he's on the wire, he'd be a good option. But actually, to be honest, I don't think Schultz is a bad play. With a backup quarterback, he's going to look to his safety blanket being the tight end Schultz. We have him as a top 4 or 5 tight end this week against Cincinnati, so I think you should be fine with him moving forward. But if you want to look to the waiver wire just to back him up, you could do so.
Bailey Bro needs help. Full PPR league at the flex spot. Got Allen Robinson or Cortland Sutton. Who to start?
Yeah, until Allen Robinson shows us something and is catching more than just one ball per week, I would definitely go with Sutton.
Devin Kelly, who to start? Wide receiver has got Deebo Samuel and Duvernay.
Yeah, don't be fooled by the Duvernay play last week. He caught a bunch of balls, a couple touchdowns, I think, but that's not going to be happening every week. So I would certainly play the other option there.
See if we can get a couple of more in. John said who to start in flex. He's got Jarvis Landry or T. Higgins or Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Well, I'd watch the Higgins news. If he did get to practice in tomorrow, Saturday, he'll probably play Sunday, and he would be a good option. If he doesn't go, I think Landry is probably your best bet.
Let's see. George Newmiller said who to start. He's got Kenyon Drake or Dillon at running back. Who to start?
I'd play Dillon. It looks like J.K. Dobbins is back for the Ravens, so Drake will just be a backup, getting a few carries here and there. I think Dillon's probably going to see more action, so I would play A.J. Dillon over him.
All right, let's see if we can get one more in here from Alex Oob, who said who to start PPR. Is it Kareem Hunt or Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
That's a tough one. There should be a shootout tonight. Edwards-Helaire should see a few catches, but I think Hunt's probably going to see more carries. I would go Hunt there.
He is Darin Tietgen, Fantasy Blitz, whotostart.com. It's the numeral 2, whotostart.com. You get onto the website. They'll give you personalized fantasy football advice. Remember, use the code ESPN. They'll give you 10% off. Again, just use the code ESPN. They'll give you 10% off at whotostart.com. Use the numeral 2, whotostart.com. He's Darin Tietgen with us every Thursday. Man, we appreciate your flexibility today. Enjoy the football weekend, man. We'll do it again next week.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
All right, man. We appreciate you. Be well. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. A couple of things. I've been mentioning one, Ida claims. If a year ago you put it off for whatever reason, no worries. You have 2 years from the date of the storm to file an insurance claim. So if you kind of were letting the emergent work pass and you just put it off, this is a really good time to give us a shout at HUDCO, let one of our inspectors come out, get on the roof, see if you have damage. A lot of times you can't see damage until you have water spots on the roof, so it's on your ceiling. So it's a good time to always let us come get up on the roof, let our trained inspectors go take a look at your roof and see if we need to help you file a claim. Also, hail damage. There was hail on September the 7th in the southeast part of Baton Rouge, but if there was hail near you within the last year, it's worth giving us a shout. Let us come give you that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. It's easy. Go to the homepage of the website. Right there, you'll see the contact form. Take you 30 seconds. Fill out the contact form. Boom, you're automatically in our system. We'll be in touch with you to schedule. It's HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. All right, it is After Further Review. LSU, Mississippi State. Let's turn the page a little bit to Tigers, Bulldogs. We'll head over to Starkville. Steve Robertson, our buddy who covers Mississippi State for Scout there, he's going to join us to talk about the Bulldogs, give us a little bit of a primer on this matchup from the Mississippi State point of view. And a little more than an hour from right now, Mike Triplett will be with us to talk Saints. The updated injury report, if you have not heard, Alvin Kamara did not practice today for the New Orleans Saints. So certainly explains further why they went out and signed Latavius Murray to have him in the in the queue for this week in case if Kamara's not able to go come Sunday. So a lot to get to. Glad you're with us. We're heading to Starkville to talk Bulldogs next on AFR.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I see that, man. It's hard to make plays on the guy because he makes all the good throws and all the great throws, really. But for me, I know I just got to line up and just do it and do what I do.
It's LSU defensive back Mekhi Gardner talking about facing Will Rogers this weekend in Tiger Stadium. It's Tigers and Bulldogs 5 o'clock kickoff Saturday in Death Valley. Steve Robertson will be there from genespage.com, part of the 247 Network. He's on Twitter at ScoutSteveR, friend of the show. We appreciate you, man. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm actually looking forward to getting back to Baton Rouge. You know, I lived there for 16 years, and so I'm actually going down tomorrow. I'm going to have a nice meal somewhere in the capital city, and then cover a college football game on Saturday.
I have bad news for you. You do know that Fleur-de-Lis closed.
I did know that.
Okay.
And I hear that it may be reopening, though.
Okay.
So
right. You and I spoke about that years ago, and about your affinity for Fleur-de-Lis, and it's closed. So anyway, but if they do reopen, and the next time you're here, we'll connect at Fleur-de-Lis if they do reopen.
I might even drive down for the grand reopening if somebody will tell me.
Okay, deal, and I'll buy. I'll buy.
There we go.
That'll be good. Hey, Will Rogers. Safe to say he's the best quarterback Mike Leach has had at Mississippi State. What makes him so effective in this offense?
Well, I think the first thing, the learning curve wasn't very steep for him because, you know, he grew up the son of a high school football coach. It's very offensive-minded. So he kind of hit the ground running in many respects. It's a college prospect. He was pretty far advanced as far as film study and things like that. But, you know, Will's an ultimate competitor, you know, and he's not a guy that's going to take a lot of chances. He understands that the smart play is always the right play. And so he doesn't put the ball in harm's way very often. He did last year against LSU a couple times. He paid for it once. But he's matured, and I think his decision-making has gotten even better this year, and his arm's gotten a little bit stronger. And I just think he has the full command of the offense right now, which is why things have gone so well.
Does he have the receiving talent outside to compete with the elite-level defensive backs in the SEC?
We certainly think so. And it's not because, you know, State doesn't have a go-to guy. You know, last year you had, Mekhi Polk. I think what's happened is they've gotten better as a group. You know, Austin Williams is a guy that's been here forever and a day. But, you go out and add guys like Justin Robinson from Georgia and then Jordan Mosley from Northwestern, and they're not even starting. And Robinson's actually running third team. And it's because that group as a whole has matured. They played mostly together as freshmen 2 years ago. And so by committee, they're really getting it done. And I think most people that are followers of Mississippi State football would probably agree that it's probably the most wide receiver talent Mississippi State's ever had.
How How good is the running game, Steve? We have seen obviously good running backs come through that program here in the last decade or so.
Well, it's difficult to really quantify, because they don't run it an awful lot. They've run it more this year because I think Will has matured to the point where he's like, you know what, you're going to give me a light box, I'm going to hand the ball off, and we'll get 4 or 5 yards here on first down. And so I think Will is seeing the field better, and the ground game probably benefits from that. But you also got guys like Woody Marks and Dylan Johnson now that have 2 years of SEC experience under their belt. They've been through the wars. They're bigger, faster, stronger. And I think they're running with a little more conviction. I think you saw that last week against Arizona. State ran a halfback lead last week, and I didn't think that was ever going to happen again. I thought that left with Sylvester Grimm days. But it's been entertaining to watch. But, they're very capable players. And, again, these are guys that played together 2 years ago as freshmen, and now they've got some esprit de corps, shall we say.
Is the offensive line – would you expect when you look at the LSU defensive line with guys like Gay and Ojulari and Jaquelin Roy, obviously Mason Smith's lost for the year, which is unfortunate, but how does that matchup shake out with the state offensive line and the LSU defensive front?
I think that's probably one of the things you really got to watch. It's like I think the Mississippi State defensive front has an advantage over the LSU offensive line. And then on the same side, I think the state offensive line, I think, has been good, but they haven't been tested like they're going to be Saturday night. And listen, Ojulari's maybe not 100%, but even at 80%, he's better than most players in the country, And so I'm eager to kind of see how that thing kind of plays out. But I think this could be a lower scoring game because of the fact that I think both defensive lines are going to have an opportunity to make plays.
Steve, I do want to flip it around, though, because that's been LSU's bugaboo, and we've talked about it a ton. LSU's defensive line or offensive line, has just really struggled. There's no way around that. So if you would walk us through a little bit about that Mississippi State defensive line and what we could expect to see.
Well, it all centers around Cam Young, literally and figuratively. Cam Young is a guy that's a Mississippi, success story. And Bob Shoup told me, he was the defensive coordinator on Jim Moorhead's staff. When they signed him, he said he's going to be the next great small-town Mississippi State D-line story. And that's exactly what he is. He's probably a mid-round draft pick this year, but he's the guy, from Meadville, Mississippi, that went to a rural high school and just kind of grew up country strong and learned how to play football on the college level. And he is a monster in there. Now, he's not a guy that's always going to gain ground, but he's a guy he's a plugger. He's a guy that's going to occupy a double team more times than not, and that it frees up the guys to make other plays. But they've been really good. Randy Charlton's a guy that had a really good game against Arizona. Jaden Crumedy is still out. He's arguably State's best defensive lineman, but he has not participated so far and probably out for a couple more weeks. When he first went down, we were told he could be back for LSU, and then the prognosis changed a little bit. Now we're hoping it's A&M, but we don't know. But that group, it's all juniors and seniors. It's guys like Nathan Pickering, that U.S. Army All-American guy. So these are Mississippi State's been able to attract some pretty quality defensive linemen over the years, and I think that this is the year where that group has kind of matured to the point they have the depth, they have the talent to really compete in the trenches.
I do want to ask you, Steve, about a Louisiana kid, Tyrus Wheat, who is from A-Meet and has just been was really good, obviously, against Arizona. How does he factor into this ball game this weekend in particular?
That's a great question, and I think Ty Wheat is a guy that has probably committed himself from a physical fitness standpoint, perhaps better at any point in his career. There was talk last year that he might come out, and he made the decision to come back, and I think that would have been a mistake to go out last year. But I think he has shown a real sense of urgency, and it's shown on the field. It's like he puts the time in a weight room, and then it's translated his play on the field. And I think that he's a guy, especially against this running game, I think that it's going to be difficult to get wide when he's on the field because he is so athletic. He can fight through blocks. To see him against that tight end matchup with LSU is going to be awfully interesting. I just think that he's a guy that could be a real difference maker in this ball game for State, and he was last weekend. And it seems like he's all over the field each and every game, and they're moving him around a lot more than they have in years past. And I think he enjoys that, that versatility and a chance to kind of get out and show what he can do.
Look, the undeniable strength of LSU's team is their wide receivers. They're deep and fast and athletic and talented and all that good stuff. And if they're going to have success, they got to get the ball to those guys on the perimeter. How does that matchup look with State's secondary and LSU's receivers?
Well, on the outside the numbers, wide receiver versus corner, I think it's going to be one of the better matchups in the country, to be quite honest with you. Emmanuel Forbes is a guy that some NFL scouts have shared. They have a late first round, early second round grade on him. He has been absolutely outstanding, has incredible length. He can get out there and and run with those X receivers. And then in addition to that, DeCamerion Richardson, the guy from Louisiana that kind of a late bloomer, is a guy that's really blossomed. And State goes out and gets Marcus Banks from Alabama out of the portal, and a lot of people thought, okay, well, Banks will take that spot that Martin Emerson had. Now he's in the NFL. And DeCamerion Richardson held the job through the spring and the fall. Not one day did he ever run with the second team. And he held off that competition from Banks, and he has been absolutely outstanding. Now, he's a year away from being draft eligible, but a lot of people believe that he will command a higher draft pick than Martin Emerson or Emmanuel Forbes. They just think that he's built a little bit better for the pro game, and he's really just kind of learning to play as a starter for the first time. And so that's something you kind of got to watch there, too, is, does LSU have some tricks up their sleeve, perhaps, where they could take advantage of a little bit immaturity there, perhaps? But from an athleticism standpoint, I expect State to be able to compete outside the numbers.
Hey, Steve Robertson's our guest for a couple more minutes on Twitter at ScoutSteveR. They're genespage.com, part of the 247 network. We all know that the quote last year with Mike Leach, with the place kickers and holding open tryouts, it was rough. And there's been a little bit, as I understand, watching from afar, a little bit of a turnstile as well this year. Are they settled at place kicker coming into Saturday?
Well, I thought they were until last week. Ben Rabin is a guy that took over after Massimo Biscardi missed 2 extra points last week, and Leach is just not a very patient guy with all that. So they pull him, and then Rabin, of course, is 100% on touchbacks on the kickoffs and knocks home a couple field goals and extra points. And I think they feel good about him right now, but I don't know if they try Biscardi back out there again or not. I think Leach last year, it became such a bone of contention last year with kicking. They went out and recruited, I think, 4 in this recruiting class, and the scholarship, one of them, and then the other ones were preferred walk-ons. And it was like an army of kids out there for a while. And then, of course, you get into fall camp and it's settled. But I think that's the last thing Mike Leach wants to worry about. So I don't think he's going to leave anything to chance. So I think Ben Rabin's probably the guy kind of moving forward, and we'll see. You miss an extra point. Okay, it's part of life. You miss 2 in a row, you're probably not going to play for a while.
Yeah. If this game comes down to a kick, Steve, I think either fan base is going to be holding their breath. All right, if State's got the blueprint to win it on Saturday, what does it look like?
Well, I think the job starts with, can you contain Jaden Daniels? I think he is skilled enough as a passer that it's very concerning. But what worries you is, what does he do when he plays outside the offense? What does he do when things break down and he gets outside? And State had some issues with that last week. They were able to get pressure on Delora, but didn't always get him on the ground. Well, Delora wasn't a real running threat. Daniels could be. That's a guy right there. You drop into coverage and you miss a tackle in containment. Next thing you know, he's running 25 yards, and next thing you know, you're on SportsCenter. And so that's the big concern, I think, for State is, can they contain Jaden Daniels' running ability? Because he's not a dual-threat quarterback in that respect. He is an elite quarterback that has the ability to run the football. And so it makes him different, I think, than a lot of other quarterbacks that maybe are similarly situated. I think that's job one. You've got to make Jaden Daniels be a quarterback and not beat you in a game of backyard football. Now, I think, secondly, State's got to keep Will Rogers upright. You've got to find a way. LSU's going to make some plays, and there's no doubt about it, especially with that front. You got to get some protection and then be able to kind of attack down the field. And I don't know how vertical State goes, but, working horizontally and kind of working at his intermediate routes and kind of death by 1,000 cuts, I think that's, State's a ball control offense. People don't think about that because we don't run the football that often. But you look up every year, and State's among the national leaders in time of possession, which Leach thinks is a meaningless stat. But when you've got to chase those receivers, for 40, 45, 46 minutes a game, it's going to wear on your secondary.
LSU and Mississippi State Saturday, 5 o'clock in Tiger Stadium. He's Steve Robertson, genespage.com. He's on Twitter at ScoutSteveR. Steve, we always appreciate it, man. Have a great weekend. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Matt.
It's our pleasure. Good stuff there from Steve. Interesting. I'm very, very much – every game LSU plays, I'm going to be interested in the receiver DB matchup, the LSU receivers against the opponent's defensive backs, because that's where LSU's strength lie. And you've got to be able to get your receivers open and get them the ball. If LSU's offense is going to move, the passing game will open up the running game, not the reverse. So you hear Steve say athletically, Mississippi State in the secondary really can run, should be able to run with these LSU receivers. See how that plays out. I think that's going to be a critical part of the game on Saturday. All right, it's after, but both teams seem to have some question marks on their offensive line. This feels a lot like the Florida State game. It feels a lot like Florida State. Both teams have questions on the offensive line, strong defensive line, questions with the place kicker. It feels very similar. This one's in Baton Rouge, and LSU's 3 games into the week. And maybe one thing I should have asked Steve that I didn't was about just the lag, traveling from Arizona, coming back, and how that may impact. But certainly we'll have opportunities to talk about that maybe tomorrow as well. All right, brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. That's energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. You know where to find them. They're online at reliefwindows.com, and they'll always, always give you exceptional service and never take $1 from you until they're finished and you're thrilled with the work. That's the Relief Windows promise. 288-8138 or reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, reliefwindows.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. If you missed it, we'll run back through the Saints-Bucks injury report coming up in just a second. Of note, Alvin Kamara did not practice today, but the Bucks have some concerns on their injury report as well. We'll kind of spell out some of that when we come back. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Oh, it feels like fall. You walk outside at night. I took the trash out last night about 10:30 at night. Got home from Scone and Tea. Took the trash out, and man, that little cool blast of air kind of hits you. You don't feel like you're wrapped in a blanket with the South Louisiana summer humidity. It's the first signs of fall. Another sign of fall is when you get by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations you walk in, you'll see all the fall decor. Pumpkins, hay bales, scarecrows, squash, gourds, everything you need to decorate your front porch, your back patio, whatever it is, they've got it at Clegg's. And if you're a deer hunter, remember they got Mobucks and Buckbusters and deer corn and rice brand, everything you need to put out those plots so you can get the trophy buck this deer season. They can help you out at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations are also partnered with True Value Hardware Store, so whatever you'd find in a True Value Hardware Store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Buy local, shop local for more than 60 years. Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car.
I got my first real six-string, bought it at the 5 and dime, played it till my fingers bled, was the summer of 69.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
We're going to chat with Mike Triplett here in about 45 minutes or so, about 40 minutes or so. We'll talk tons of Saints Bucks. If you have not seen the injury report yet today, it is significant for both teams, as a matter of fact. The Saints injury report is extensive. Alvin Kamara, who was limited yesterday, did not practice today. Paulson Adebo also, for the second consecutive day, did not practice. The good news that Calvin Throckmorton went from limited to full, as did Marcus May, limited to full today. So getting healthier there. But Cameron Jordan, Traquan Smith, Dwayne Washington, Jameis Winston, Landon Young, Mark Ingram, Alante Taylor, all limited on the Saints injury report today. So tomorrow's going to be critical for a lot of these guys, most notably Alvin Kamara, because it's pretty clear they tried to give him a little run on he had the rib injury. They gave him a little run yesterday, see how he felt. Then he didn't practice today, Thursday. So that obviously explains why you go out and sign Latavius Murray. You've also got Mark Ingram.
Murray, present.
Mark Ingram on the injury report as limited for 2 days. So, yes, you likely need help and depth there at running back. But I'll repeat it again. For the Bucks, it ain't great either, man. Mike Evans, was similar to Kamara, was limited on Wednesday and then did not practice on Thursday. Chris Godwin, we know, is going to be out because of the hamstring injury. And then Julio Jones, back-to-back days now, has not practiced yet this week. It'll be critical tomorrow to see what happens with Julio. But that means Evans, Godwin, and Jones, your three best receivers, did not practice. Gage did not practice yesterday, but was limited on Thursday. So your top four receivers, the only one who's participated at all this week was Russell Gage, who was limited today after not practicing on Wednesday. So, Tom Brady, who didn't practice yesterday, they just gave him a day of rest, was a full participant today. But Brady's top weapons, not there. We know the issues they've had with the offensive line, and both offensive tackles are on the injury report today as well. Tristan Wirfs, the starting right tackle, has been limited for 2 days, and Donovan Smith, the starting left tackle, has been out for 2 days. Todd Bowles, when he met with reporters, was asked about Donovan Smith. This is the first one, Musa, if you could, from Todd Bowles when he was asked about the starting left tackle.
Coach, any update on Donovan Smith?
Not at this time. They're just getting treatment, and we'll see how it goes at the end of the week.
And then the follow-up was how they would replace Donovan Smith if he's not able to go against New Orleans.
If Donovan can't go, obviously Josh is next man up. We thought he stepped in and did a good job. There's some things we can get better at there, but overall I thought he did a good job.
So make no mistake about it, that's a nightmare scenario for Tampa. You're playing a team that's had your number. You're playing a team that not only has had your number just in the win-loss column, but the way the Saints have beaten Tampa has been significant. I mean, you're talking about Tampa, the margin in these games, 17, 7, 35. That was the opener. I'm sure that was the primetime game 2 years ago. 11, and then last year, both games you won by 9 points, including the game in Week 15 where you won it 9-0. You shut out Tampa Bay on their home field. So this is a Tampa offense that has struggled to solve the Saints' defensive riddle. And now you're talking about very likely not having Donovan Smith, your starting left tackle. You're already without Ryan Jensen, your starting center. We know you lost both guards in the offseason, and one of your guards is lost for that, who was a replacement, is lost for the season. Your right tackle, Tristan Wirfs, is on the injury report as well. And your top 4 receivers, 3 of them didn't practice today, and the 4th didn't practice yesterday and was limited today. So it's needless to say, if you're Tampa, you can't be feeling super great about how you're going into this game right now. So, again, we'll talk about this with Mike Triplett in about 35 minutes from right now. If you want to bet on the game, you can do it at DraftKings, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Any new customer, bet just $5 on any football game. They'll give you $200 in free bets instantly at the DraftKings Sportsbook. That includes tonight's Thursday night football game with the Chiefs and the Chargers. You want to get involved tonight? Right? Do it right now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5 on any football game. They'll give you $200 in free bets instantly. By the way, Muse, did you see the Otter last night?
I did not, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah?
Oh, my goodness. The Otter last night gave you the Diamondbacks on the money line. It hit. He gave you the Cubs plus 170 against the Mets. It hit.
It's a sweep for the Cubbies.
He gave you the Yankees on the money line, which hit.
Yeah.
And the Yankees on the run line, which hit. He gave you the Orioles-Nationals over, which hit. And he gave you the Phillies on the money line in Miami at plus 120, which hit. Your boy had a perfect night last night. The Oddfather.
Pretty good.
7 for 7 last night. And I am ahead of where I was now after my atrocious Saturday because of an amazing Sunday betting with the Otter. And then last night. And Monday Night Football.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Oh, my goodness. Getting it on the action. DraftKings. Hit the disclaimer there, Muse. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football. Terms licensed partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-7-0-STOP. My goodness. Hey, real quick. Muse is going to have Tigers in the Pros to wrap up the hour in just a moment. There was a... this is going to be kind of boring, but... To work through it, but it is significant, so bear with me for a second. A whole bunch of athletic directors, 105 to be exact, out of the 131 FBS ADs, took part in a panel or a discussion where it was called the Lead One Meeting, whatever. They were asked for a show of hands in the room who would want the FBS to continue being governed by the NCAA. And according to Tom McMillan, who's the CEO and president of the organization that represents all the ADs, said it was an overwhelming. He said, rarely do we have such a consensus on an issue. It was overwhelming how many ADs wanted the NCAA to remain the governing body of major college football, which was interesting. NIL has complicated a lot of this. You probably know I do a podcast now, or maybe you don't, called Rosters to Riches. It's an NIL podcast. Jonathan Pixley from Matchpoint, he and I drop a pod every week on NIL topics. We usually have a guest. Will Wade was with us a few weeks back. The pod that dropped on Tuesday was an interview we did with attorney David Fleshman. Who's a former LSU basketball walk-on, as a matter of fact. He's an attorney in town at Brazil, Saxe. And we spent and David is a sports law expert and now has a heavy focus in NIL. Well, I asked David the question a lot of people have asked, because so many people have said, what would happen if you cap NIL? And I've been told forever there's lawsuits already drawn. If you ever try to cap NIL, here come the lawsuits instantly. Here's what Fleshman said on Rosters to Riches.
The moment that the NCAA tries to restrict student athletes' ability to profit on their name, image, and likeness, if they say that for an appearance you can only make $5,000, under state law, we have now created a legal action, a legal right of the student athlete to challenge that. So in every state now, in 28 states, they have the legal right under state law, but also they'll probably bring it under federal law and challenge the NCAA, and it'll just be the latest line of challenges. But the basis of amateurism that the NCAA has relied on has been really blitzed in the last year with the Alston case, the Supreme Court case. The concurring opinion in that decision has laid the groundwork for any and all challenges to the NCAA's reliance on amateurism to restrict compensation. It wasn't directly addressed with in Alston. That wasn't, NIL wasn't an issue in Alston, but it was about education-related benefits. But the base of all of the NCAA's restrictions is this idea of amateurism, which has taken a beating by the Supreme Court.
It was a fascinating conversation. All of the legalities involved in NIL, we did about 50 minutes, 5-0, with attorney David Fleshman. Really, I found the conversation, listening to him, fascinating. So check it out. However, get your podcast. Just search Rosters to Riches, and you'll see it and subscribe up. We appreciate it. Okay, quick break. When we come back, Muso has Tigers in the Pros.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. You can spell it out. I always encourage you to get your seasonal maintenance at River City's 1 Hour Air. It's not just me. You really should. The AC in our bedroom at our home is the original AC from our house, which was built in 1997. So it's 25 years old. When we moved into the house in 2016, we had River City's 1 Hour Air come out. I said, look, this is on its last leg. But part of the reason it has lasted the 6 years we've lived in this house is because we continue to maintain it seasonally. So by doing so, we prevent little issues from becoming very big, very expensive issues. Rivers. Oh, did I mention when you're part of their membership club, the seasonal maintenance is complimentary. River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You can't miss them. 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
I am Juliet, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis, but I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother, and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
3 people walk into a bar. The first 2 order the same old margs. The third, Nuevo Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer. Crafted with real lime juice and a crisp tequila flavor. Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on our new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
after further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Wrapping up hour number 2, brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
We start with some disappointing news out of the National Football League. Earlier today, Thursday, September 15th, 2022, Ian Rappaport reports that Seahawks safety Jamal Adams set to undergo season-ending surgery to repair a torn quadriceps tendon, I should say. Adams hurt it in the first half against the Denver Broncos. Didn't even get to play a full half. His season is over. Rappaport also notes Adams waiting on the timing of the surgery and still trying to decide who performs the procedure, but season over for Jamal Adams.
Yeah, I feel bad for Jamal because he started his career on a Hall of Fame trajectory, but he wanted out of New York because the Jets were terrible. And he got traded to another terrible team. And he's been injury prone. It just gives you such a great appreciation for guys who do stay healthy for so long and do it so consistently, because in that league, God, it's hard. Anyway, good luck to Jamal.
Injury report updates. We'll start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette limited once again in practice on Thursday with a hamstring. Russell Gage limited in practice for the Buccaneers, also with a hamstring. New addition to the injury report list is Christian Fulton for the Tennessee Titans, also with a hamstring. Did not practice today. That is after practicing yesterday. And then finally, Trey Turner, a quad, once again limited in practice today for the Washington Commanders.
Forgot he was in Washington.
Yeah, man. Major League Baseball, Alex Bregman, another night, another hit, another RBI. That's 85 RBI so far on the year for Bregman. 1 for 3 in total last night to round out his night. And the Astros beat the Tigers 2-1.
A bit.
Major League Baseball today, the Toronto Blue Jays are taking it on the chin from the Tampa Bay Rays. Kevin Gausman got the start in that game, went 7 innings, surrendered 6 hits, 5 runs all earned, walked 1 and struck out 7, gave up 2 homers as well. Threw 103 pitches, 75 strikes in those 7 innings. He is on the hook for his 12th loss of the season. They're in the top of the 9th inning. Finally, PGA Tour. We have the 40-net championship going on. Round 1 in progress. Ben Taylor tied 29th currently, 1 under par. He's through 14 holes.
Hey.
He stands 5 shots off the lead of Ben An and S.H. Kim, who are 6 under.
Yeah.
On done, Kim still on the course.
And
we'll keep you posted. That's it. I mean, look. Sam Burns is taking that next step, Matt. He ain't going to play in September tournaments. That's not going to happen.
No, I get it.
That's not going to happen. Our guy Curtis, Curtis Thompson, he's not in the field this week right now.
It's a
but
shame
Ben Taylor, remember,
like
Ben Taylor was fighting for his card. He got it. He's back on PGA Tour. We love to see it. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. That's lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, if you are shopping for that diamond, remember, the place where Baton Rouge has gone to get engaged for 40 years is Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Corporate in Bocage and in the Mall of Louisiana. 9 locations in all. New Orleans, Lafayette, North Louisiana. So check out to find all the locations across the state. lmfj.com. Guys, we don't do this often. We don't buy diamonds often, most of us anyway. So if you need to learn about shape or setting or clarity, all those different things that distinguish a diamond, a beautiful diamond, Lee Michaels can help. Got an amazing selection. The price is fair. You get great value. And you'll always get the Lee Michaels experience, no matter your budget. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, it is after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Sports Center coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. Talk some LSU Mississippi State after the top of the hour. And then Mike Triplett in 20 minutes. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about Schutz Electric, CESofLA.com, CESofLA.com for Schutz Electric home standby generators. They do it better than anyone. It does matter who you hire to come install your generator. And I know we've sort of dodged all of the bad news so far this storm season, but not sure if you noticed, there are storms out in the Atlantic, so we got to keep our eye on that. Schutz did post on their social media that they currently have a giant pallet of generators that have shown up there at Schutz Electric. So these are Generac 22 kilowatt and 24 kilowatt standby generators in stock. So my point is, if there are other companies that you've called that say, hey, it's going to be 6 months till we get you a generator, not at Schutz Electric. They've got them in stock. So give them a call and start that process today. CESofLA.com. Turnkey installation and more affordable than you would think. Schutz Electric. CESofLA.com.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah!
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Week 2 in the NFL kicks off tonight with the Chiefs and Chargers in Kansas City. Both teams won their openers. ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
The Chiefs will win tonight. Out of these two teams, they're the team that I saw be able to do whatever they wanted to offensively last week. They had 66 plays run. They got 33 first downs. That's 50% of the time they ran a play, they got a first down. That's the best mark in a decade.
Dan Orlovsky on First Take. Baseball today. The White Sox hit 5 home runs in Cleveland and beat the Guardians 8-2. Chicago now just 3 games behind Cleveland in the AL Central race. In the 9th inning in Toronto, the Rays lead the Blue Jays 8-0. Phil Mickelson says he's thinking about removing his name from Live Golf's antitrust lawsuit against the PGA Tour. Mickelson was one of the 11 players who sued in early August. Several of those players have already dropped their names from the case. Game 3 of the WNBA Finals tonight. The Las Vegas Aces need one more win for the title as they play the Sun. Coverage at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Hour 3. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Great Thursday night football game tonight. Chiefs hosting the Chargers. Mahomes, Herbert, going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk about it bottom of this hour. And if you're playing the game, we will get a pick from the Otter in Otter Locks in about 45 minutes from right now. So be sure you're here. Someone just messaged me during the break. Remember, you can always text the show in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. It's Wayne Letts who said, how do you see Otter's picks? He's always winning. Well, you don't see Otter's picks. You have to listen to Otter Locks. And I've asked him why he doesn't put his Otter Locks on Twitter, and he says, because it's annoying when people flood his timeline after they lose. So he doesn't put them out there. So if you want them, listen to Otter Locks and play them. If don't. But if you were playing Otter's picks, you would have had a 7-0 night last night, Major League Baseball. And I told you, your boy had himself a weekend in the NFL. So we'll get a pick from Otter coming up in a bit. I want to talk LSU Mississippi State in just a second, particular hearing from a couple of defensive players, Mekhi Gardner, Savion Jones, who met with reporters during media availability about stopping Mississippi State. I'll get to that in just a second. But we did drop last night a little bit of a comeback. If you missed it, of course, a gigantic part of the 2019 LSU season were the hype videos. And, of course, Will Stout kind of became a little bit of a legend in his own right because of the epic hype videos. Well, Will is doing independent work now, and so I reached out to him about a month ago or so, maybe a little more than that. And he sat in on an episode of Scone and Tea with me when T-Bob was out, and I kind of pitched the idea to Will of producing some stuff for us since he's not working at LSU. He's doing independent stuff. So 104.5 ESPN, we hired Will to put together kind of a hype video. I mean, it's not narrated. It's not like the 3.5 minute like theatrical things like those were, but he put together, we credentialed him. He went and shot the whole day for LSU and Southern and was down on the field, put together a hype video sort of recapping the day. So go check it out. It's on all the 104.5 ESPN social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you go search, it's pinned on Twitter. So if you go search 104.5 ESPN, all of our social media, you'll see the Will Stout return hype video, which we dropped yesterday evening. It's there. If you're watching, you're seeing it right there. But go check out our social. We appreciate a retweet. Let people know it's out there. If you like that content, let us know. We'll keep bringing Will along, hopefully, and have much more like that. It was really fun to see that all come together. All right, it is after further review. LSU, Mississippi State, Saturday in Tiger Stadium, 5 o'clock. I am certainly going to be very interested to watch the LSU offense. No doubt. The offensive progression. Can the line hold up against Mississippi State? It was the gigantic question we had for so many weeks leading up to the season. A true freshman left tackle. Of course, they were starting Garrett Dellinger at center. First time he'd ever played the position. You had 2 transfers in there starting. Well, I guess Tremont Shorts was with the ones for like 3 weeks of camp and then was out. And you get it. It was a mess. And a lot of people chose to be optimistic. I took a more realistic tack, and, man, look at what happened. It was awful against Florida State. And it wasn't maybe decidedly better last week, but your level of competition was different. How much better can you get with time and continuity and reps? If you missed Ryan Clark on the show in hour number 1, I would highly recommend you go back and listen to that. You know, RC obviously does a ton of NFL stuff for ESPN, but he's with us to talk college, in particular LSU. And we talked about the Greg Brooks, Jay Ward swap. But I did ask RC, do we have this? I did ask RC, what he, in particular, going into week 3, from week 1 to week 2 to week 3, what is the thing that he would like to see improve? I thought this was a great answer.
I think protection is the first thing. I think back-end coverage would be the second. And the reason I mentioned those 2 things, because those 2 things are chemistry, continuity, and rep, right? You're talking about tying in 5 people to do the right thing, sometimes 6 from the standpoint of offensive line play. And then you look.
And went on to talk about the secondary too, but I love chemistry, continuity, reps. Said you should get better on the offensive line, chemistry, continuity, and reps. Listen, your physical ability is what it's going to be, but you've got some guys with physical ability. Will Campbell's got great physical ability. Garrett Dellinger's got physical ability. I mean, you've got some guys that are really good players, but continuity, chemistry, reps. That's the thing that you can improve as a unit when those 3 things improve with time, and that's a natural thing that should happen. It happened last year with LSU's offensive line. They were not very good early in the season. The more they got used to each other and working with Brad Davis and what they were trying to do, they got better as the season went along. I would expect the same with this offensive line, but how much better from week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3 can they be? I'll be very curious. But on top of the offensive line, I think the secondary is the other thing that RC talked about there. Can you finish that bite with the secondary part that RC mentioned?
Look at the secondary, it's the same thing. These are guys who hadn't gotten a ton of reps with one another. And the more reps you get, whether it be in practice or game time, you expect those things to be better. And if they aren't progressing, then your team can't get progressively better. And so I think when you look at the Florida State film and then look at the film from this game, those are the 2 areas you should want to see the most progress gained.
And if you listen to Mekhi Gardner when he met with the media this week, he kind of talked about how confident they are and what this opportunity is against Mississippi State.
Opportunities like this, when we have weekends and teams like this, they're just an air raid, a straight air raid. This is how we show that we are the best secondary there is in the nation.
Best secondary in the nation. I mean, that's obviously far-fetched and not real, but it's something they're trying to strive for. It's something he reiterated again later in the media availability.
I feel like the last 2 games has been on us, if you ask me. But this game right here is definitely another way for us to just show our skills off and just show that we are who we are. And that is wanting to be the best secondary in the nation.
I mean, when you have, I say this often, when you have a player and then multiple players who continue to reiterate a line, they're getting it from their coach. You are hearing the coach through the player when this is what's hammered into all of them all the time. This was a Frank Wilson line forever when he was here earlier. I'm sure he still talks to his guys. But Frank Wilson would always say about his running backs, the depth chart is written in sand. That was Frank's line about his running back depth chart. And then every time we'd have availability of players, you would hear players say depth charts are written in sand. Well, they were just repeating what Frank was telling them over and over and over and over. And my guess is, with Mekhi Gardner saying that multiple times, best in the nation, best in the nation, best in the nation, That's what Kerry Cooks is and Robert Steeples are hammering into their brain. Now, it ain't reality today. You and I all know that. But that's the expectation. That's what they're all striving to be, and that's clearly what they're talking about. Now, yes, back-end coverage is going to be big against Mississippi State, but getting pressure on Will Rogers, getting him off his spot is big as well. And Savion Jones, who got to play a lot with Ali Gay, missing the first half against Southern, talked about this, not only the Mississippi State game, but how this LSU defense has really been malleable so far.
I feel like we got a good advantage of being able to adapt to new things. Like you said, that's a very unique line, but I feel like with our defense, we'll be able to adapt to their offense really fast.
We're going to see on Saturday in Tiger Stadium, 5 o'clock. I do love that Brian Kelly coached against Navy for so many years. And it's why he referenced in his press conference, this is like facing a triple option. Obviously, the offensive style is the same, of course, but it's essentially they're not doing a lot of different stuff. They run 4 plays, 4 or 5 concepts. They just execute it better than you can defend it in 3 days. But Brian Kelly had for 12 years to run a week like this where you're preparing for a game against a team that's trying to control the ball and keep it away from you and do something that they do exceptionally well and execute. Steve Robertson said this a bit ago. He said, look, I mean, people have this assumption that Mississippi State is this hurry up, go, go, go. No, it's ball control. They just throw it a ton. So, yes, I do like this matchup for LSU, and I certainly like that it's in Tiger Stadium. Okay, we'll talk much more about LSU Mississippi State on our Football Friday show, and I'll give you a pick tomorrow, so make sure you're here for that. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Mike Triplett now of New Orleans.football will join us. When we come back, talk some Saints Bucks. It's AFR.
AFR.
And the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints is Rouse's. Man, so thrilled for our relationship with Rouse's. They've been so awesome to work with. Everyone over at Rouse's. And they've been so generous in opening up their stores to us for so many broadcasts. Of course, Eagle 98.1 Game Day is at the Rouse's on Burbank all season long. The first game, though, we were in New Orleans. We were at the Rouse's on Barone. There's Rouse's everywhere, of course. You know, T-Bob does his Friday remotes at Rouse's. Our friends at Eagle 98.1 have been out at Rouse's in Denham. So the partnership's been fantastic with us, and why not? A great Louisiana company that has everything you need for tailgate, for your home game watch party, or as you're doing your weekly grocery shopping list. Remember, Rouse's can help you out. They have delivery and pickup options. So go to the website, download the app, select your groceries. They'll go pick them out for you, bring them out to your car with your personal shop. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints.
Come on over to Corval Toyota in Opelousas and meet with one of our sales specialists to build your new Toyota. It's easy and stress-free. Or if you're looking for a pre-owned, we have a wide variety. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
If we ever get the Mike Triplett intro, we'll need to change the affiliation.
That's why I was waiting. I mean, look, Mike's not gonna stay in one place all the time. I didn't want to have to go back in and change it so quick.
Mike Triplett, who had his own announcement today. We learned several weeks back that Mike was leaving ESPN, and he's landed at NewOrleans.football. So Mike Triplett of NewOrleans.football. He's joined Nick Underhill and the gang over there. They do great work. Mike, it's great to have you, man. Congrats on your news. We appreciate the time as always. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I really just I'm sitting at the same cubicle today. I changed the artwork that my kids had for the sign hanging in my cubicle, but just had to change a few letters on the Twitter handle or whatever. I didn't really go anywhere, so I feel a little. I got a lot of love from a lot of people. That means a lot to me, but I feel bad. I feel like I almost needed to retire this morning to earn it.
Well, you've done a great job for a long time, and people certainly understand and respect it. All right, let's talk a little bit about this game. Mike, let's start with the injury report, okay? Because both teams, it is long and it is significant. Let me just leave this kind of open-ended. First with the Saints and then with the Bucs. Which is the most significant news as you see it related to the injuries this week?
Well, obviously, from the Saints standpoint, it's Alvin Kamara, and he was not practicing today, and that's definitely concerning. I don't know if he tried to give it a go yesterday and it didn't feel right, or if he was out there for a little early week show. I don't know. But when a guy's not practicing on Thursday, it's a reason for concern. So we'll know a lot more tomorrow on him. And the reports don't sound great on the flip side about Chris Godwin. And so I guess that's a fair trade-off in some ways. But what's really interesting if Chris Godwin doesn't play is that would be the ultimate test to find out how much the Saints are going to miss C.J. Gardner-Johnson because he's had a lot of success against Chris Godwin and the Bucs in general in the past. And so if they were facing a healthy 100% Chris Godwin, we would be able to see how much they missed him in that matchup. But this game might not have C.J. or Chris Godwin. So, it might just be an all-new type of matchup entirely.
Mike, it's not just Chris Godwin, who I think I don't expect to play. It sounds like he's going to miss weeks. But
Right.
Julio hasn't practiced this week. Mike Evans didn't practice today. Russell Gage didn't practice Wednesday, then was limited on Thursday. Who is Tom Brady going to throw the ball to? I mean, this has to be shifting to a massive advantage for New Orleans in the secondary.
The 2021 Saints don't want to hear that list of people that might be out or limited.
Fair enough.
He's got a lot to choose from if he just gets one or two of those guys. But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I'm not familiar enough with their injury report patterns to know how normal it is for guys to miss time as much as they've already missed. I think obviously we'll have a much better feel tomorrow, but it sounds like a lot of those guys are going to be listed as questionable, and the coach will probably say, we won't know until we get them on the field and test them out game time. So it's a great question. I mean, it would certainly benefit the Saints if all 4 of those receivers were somehow out or limited. But I would imagine they're going to have at least 2 of them, if not 3.
Do you expect Latavius Murray to play on Sunday?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
He could theoretically be active, but he wasn't. He wasn't with a team during OTAs and minicamp. This wasn't a situation where he got cut or in training camp. He didn't get cut by another team in training camp. I think he's a veteran. He obviously knows this offense. So I guess he could come right in and play, but I'd be pretty surprised, even if Alvin Kamara doesn't play, for him to leapfrog Mark Ingram, Tony Jones Jr., and even Dwayne Washington for significant touches. But they might want to have him active for the depth and the security, but I'd be surprised if he plays significantly, if at all.
Okay. I'd be curious if Kamara, because it feels like the signing was a safety net in case Alvin's not ready to go on Sunday. If he's not, then play that hypothetical. How do they handle the running back position?
Well, it was good to see Mark Ingram back out there today. He's also listed as limited. Yesterday, he was not doing. He was off to the side when we were watching today. He was with the team, so hopefully he's all right. I mean, obviously, if there were no injury concerns with Mark Ingram, I'd expect him to get 20 touches. I mean, that is the one good thing about Ingram is he's an every down guy. If you have to go to a backup, and he's done that. He had 200-yard rushing games or 200 yards from scrimmage games last year when Kamara didn't play. So as much as Ingram could handle, that's the answer. I think the next in line would be Tony Jones Jr., getting a little bit of the work. And then, like I said, Dwayne Washington, he made a case for being a little bit more part of the offense in training camp and obviously had that breaking case of emergency game where he had over 100 yards rushing in the second half a few years back. So they've got guys who can go in. I mean, maybe Murray would be the guy, especially if Kamara and Ingram both were hurt. But I think it would take a couple of injuries to see him play a significant role first week with the team in 2022.
He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. Mike, how do the Saints own Tampa Bay?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's unbelievable.
I mean, I understand how the Patriots owned the Jets for so long. I get that. This I don't get.
Well, all right. So in its simplest form, it's funny because obviously everybody's been asked it over and over again. And Dennis Allen plays things close to the vest, and he says nothing we've done in the past will automatically carry over. But I did say, all right, giving away no top secret information, just theoretically in general, what does any team have to do against Tom Brady because you're not going to surprise him or confuse him? What is the secret for any team going against a quarterback like that? And he said you have to disrupt his timing, and that can be done in two ways. That can be done by affecting him with the rush, and certainly, we've always heard people say if you can get pressure on Tom Brady up the middle, that helps. And the Saints have done a good job of that, and they've particularly done a good job of that with just a four-man rush, which is great. You don't have to send extra guys in to blitz. It's not like the blitz is going to make him panic anyway. And then you have to match up well against the receivers and disrupt their timing in their routes. And the Saints have physical defensive backs who are good in man coverage. But Marshawn Lattimore has obviously been outstanding against Mike Evans for years. Like I said, C.J. Gardner-Johnson had some good matchups against Chris Godwin, and whoever that second cornerback has been, Janoris Jenkins or Paulson Debo, has done a good job with the next guy. That's what Malcolm Jenkins explained too. He said they just have always matched up well against the Buccaneers even before Tom Brady got there. Those one-on-one matchups in the secondary. So that is the huge question mark, obviously, is if Paulson Debo doesn't play, which it doesn't look like he's going to play at this point, then four of the top five defensive backs, when the Saints are in their nickel package, are going to be four guys that weren't in their top five last year or the year before that. And so we'll have to see if it can carry over with almost completely different personnel in the secondary outside of Marshawn Lattimore.
Jameis against Tampa. I mean, it's been 3 years. Does that storyline still play?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think the most open Jameis ever was about it was on this podcast with Mark Ingram and Kim Jordan last week, where they kind of got him in a relaxed mood, and obviously they have a lot of fun with that podcast, and he opened up about it a little. He started by saying, I don't want to talk about the NFL Tom Brady, but he admitted, he said he was actually very happy for those guys when they won the Super Bowl, and they're his friends and they're his teammates, but he wanted that to be him, and watching them, say they needed a different quarterback and they needed to go get the GOAT to go win one with, obviously that hurts. There's no question that Jameis wants to have his own success, and that he wants to be better than the teams that got rid of him. There's no way that doesn't motivate him, even though it's been a couple of years.
Yeah. How do you think Jameis did week one against Atlanta, where, look, Mike, we all watched it. They sucked for 3 quarters and then caught fire.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously you can't give one answer that encompasses that whole game, because it went from nightmare to dream. It was one of his worst halves and maybe his best half as a Saint. So I think, and not just kissing up to him because I went to work with him, but I thought Nick Under had a really smart take after the game, which is the Saints now have the offensive firepower to come back in a game like that. Maybe they'll never be down 16 again all season, but their game is not over when they're down by 16, because they now have Jameis, who can hit, Jarvis Landry down the field, Michael Thomas down the field, Chris Olave on the 2-point conversion. It's really exciting to know that even if they only play one quarter of good football on offense, that could be enough to score 3 times. And that is something this team absolutely did not have last year. But, yeah, obviously we're going to need some more consistency. I thought some of those sacks were Jameis Winston's fault. I thought he held onto the ball a little bit too long. I think there were a couple times where it looked like he wasn't finding what he wanted to see, and we can't say for sure if a guy was open and he missed him, or the guys weren't getting open, or if the protection issues were coming as a surprise to him and the pressure was coming from places he didn't expect. But he definitely did not find what he was looking for in that first half, and I think that's going to come from him getting more comfortable after so much time off. And what I said at halftime, and what played out a little bit, is I think Pete Carmichael is probably going to pretty shrewdly design plays that are designed to get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker so he can find a rhythm.
Does the offensive line stink?
Not necessarily, Jace, just on that game, because, I think some of the plays that got blown up the worst were when there was an unblocked blitzer that they just didn't account for. And, of course, that's partially the fault of the offensive line. They need to pick those up and figure it out. But Pete Carmichael said the coaches were to blame for part of that. He said one time the quarterback held on the ball too long, one time a running back didn't pick up the blitz. So it's not just 4 sacks means offensive line bad, but Grady Jarrett sure had a field day in some of those one-on-one matchups against the guards who we were hoping to see vast improvement from. So they're going to need to be better. There's no doubt about it.
The other concern, obviously, was the defense, which struggled to contain Marcus Mariota and the Falcons. Do they stink?
No, and that one I'm even more willing to chalk up as an anomaly, because they obviously had a very, sit back and try to just rope off Marcus Mariota game plan. I believe they did not blitz once in that game. And decided, the best way to make sure, let's make Mariota beat us by throwing and not let him get free around the edges with this read option. Unfortunately, their run defense suffered as a result of whatever they were doing. So it just didn't work. It's a game plan that didn't work, but it's not a game plan they're going to use every week. So this week I'm concerned. I want to find out how good the secondary is, but I'm pretty confident that we're going to see the front seven is almost all the same people we've seen for multiple years here, and I'm pretty confident they know how to stop the run a lot better than what we saw the other day.
I hope you know I'm just asking very obvious, direct questions.
No,
to find what you'd say. But Will Lutz, he doinked one, and then he hit the game winner from 51. So which is the real Will Lutz, the doink or the game winner?
Well, the fact that the game winner came with all the pressure in the world after he had a doink in the memory bank probably answers your question for you right there. I mean, nobody makes them all, and it wasn't even really an ugly miss. So the fear, I think, when he missed that first one was, oh no, this guy missed a whole year, and then he comes out and misses his first kick of the season. Will this get in his head? I think making the 2 clutch field goals from a long way away in the second half kind of erases any fear that he's going to have a mental block. And physically, we know how good he is as a kicker.
It's a reminder, that's the guy who set the NFL record for most consecutive field goals on the road, most consecutive makes on the road back in 2019. So,
he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good, and you could directly say that if they had him last year, they make the playoffs.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
You could say it as a fact, like almost an unquestioned fact.
I mean, it was was it the Tennessee game or Washington? Which one am I confusing? Or maybe both. They were pretty bad in both of them.
There were 3 games where you theoretically could have said, it changed, but the Tennessee one was the most direct, I believe. But you're right. There was a point where a cleaner kicking operation could have swung 3 games early in the year. By the second half of the year, it wasn't coming down to kickers anymore.
He's Mike Triplett. He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett. NewOrleans.football. And I saw on your Twitter there's a promo code, right, for NewOrleans.football trip. Is that it?
Take advantage of the all the excitement being generated by the hiring and the free agent signing.
The free agent, I love it.
How about look? Anybody who signs up using the code TRIP has to directly reflect on that's just an ego stroke with each submit. So I'm all for it.
All right, use the promo code TRIP, TRIP. Mike Triplett from NewOrleans.football. All right, man. Congrats again. Great to chat as always. We'll visit next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll see you. That's Mike Triplett. It's AFR. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. You know where to find them. WilliamsonEye.com. Eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. Get your family eye exam. 7 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, including their newest in the River Parishes in Lutcher. Eyewear. If you wear glasses, cool. They got optical shops. They'll sell your glasses and your contacts. Eye surgery, no matter your age or refractive issue. If you want to see 20/20 without contacts or glasses, call 924-2020. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. Let the Williamson Eye Center help get you seeing perfect without contacts or glasses. It is possible. The Williamson Eye Center will make it happen. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. All right, we're glad to have you aboard with us. Otter, in less than 15 minutes from right now, we'll get a pick on Thursday Night Football. When we come back, Joe Burrow with some interesting anecdotes on the weekly interview he's doing with Colin Cowherd on the Volume Sports, including his relationship with Jamar Chase. And we'll give you a preview of Thursday Night Football with the Chiefs and the Chargers, which is coming up in a little bit. Glad to have you aboard with us here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Stick around.
AFR.
Well, if I click on the for sale by owner website in Baton Rouge, the FSBOBR, I see more than 300 homes listed right now. Every one of you should call Darin James. I mean, every one of you. Because Darin has a one-of-a-kind program. Buy one, list one free. It's this simple. Hire Darin James to represent you on the purchase of your new house, which, by the way, costs you nothing. Darin's commission would come from the seller's side. So you can always hire a realtor totally free to represent you on the purchase side, to negotiate a fair price, help you find what you're looking for. Hire Darin to do that, and he will list your current home for free. It's that easy. 335-7666. What are you waiting for? 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darin James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well. Yes! It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, cruising through our 5 o'clock hour here on a Thursday edition of AFR. Otter locks in about 10 minutes from right now. I told you, Otter and Fuego. He was a perfect 7-0 last night in Major League Baseball. Otter and Fuego will get his pick for Thursday Night Football in less than 10 minutes from right now. Thursday Night Football, of course, is Chargers at Chiefs. Arrowhead, awesome venue, one of the best environments you'll find in the NFL. One big question, though, is about Patrick Mahomes, who's dealing with a little wrist injury. Here's the Chiefs quarterback updating his status.
Yeah, it got a little sore yesterday, but then today it felt a lot better. So we kind of got in the training room, got a little work on it. Haven't actually had any time today to even get any work on it, but it's already felt a lot better. So I'm sure I'll be good to go this week.
Chiefs and Chargers tonight. So, of course, Mahomes is going to go in this ball game, and he'll have to go up against a pretty stout Chargers defense.
I mean, not just me. We have great quarterbacks in this division in general. So you saw everybody in this division get pass rushers, and so they can go out there and get after the quarterback and make it hard on us. But Khalil's a great player. I mean, obviously they have Bosa already with a lot of other guys that go out there and can rush the passer, and then they have a good defense everywhere. I mean, they have Derwin at safety. I know JC, I don't know if he's playing or not, but he's a great corner, and they have other corners that can play as well, and linebackers. So, I mean, this is a great defense, a great challenge for us early in the season. I'm just sad Khalil came back, man. I thought he was out of the AFC West, and now he's back getting sacks again.
Khalil Mack, of course, with the Raiders and with the Bears. Now he's with the Chargers, so he'll be chasing around Patrick Mahomes tonight. But the aforementioned Raiders, the Chargers beat the Raiders week 1, 24-19, despite a 100-yard receiving game from Devontae Adams, and just I think we might have had this conversation before the season, if this is the best quarterback division we've ever seen. And I don't like hyperbole, But when you can make a legitimate case that Russell Wilson, who has won a Super Bowl, is the fourth best quarterback in the division. I mean, you can make that case. That is a stacked quarterback division in the AFC West right now. So, Prime Video tonight. It's Chiefs hosting the Chargers. A couple of 1-0 teams. Man, I don't think anybody is going to look at Arizona and think that they're world beaters. But anytime you go on the road in the NFL and you hang 44 on a team, that was a statement by the Chiefs. To have lost Tyreek Hill and then to go on the road week 1 and put up 44 was just a massively impressive performance. So 44-21, the Chiefs were winners week 1. Now a quick turnaround at home. The Chargers beat the Raiders 24-19 at home. Now they're on the road in Kansas City. As a general rule of thumb, I don't like having to travel on a short week. It would probably affect you later in the season when you are a little more injured, a little more beaten down. But I like Kansas City in this spot. They are a 4-point favorite at home. We'll see what the Otter thinks when we get him on here in just a sec. But this feels like a pretty obvious spot where you lean to the home team, which looked so good in week 1. And then, obviously, being a short week, the turnaround time and the travel for the Chargers puts them at a disadvantage. But we'll find out soon enough here with a 7:15 p.m. kickoff. We're about an hour and a half away. Hour and a half away from kickoff with Chargers and Chiefs from Arrowhead. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. You know where to find them. Online at ShawBillsTire.com. Any of their 17 locations, they're just the best. They're going to treat you like family. They're going to get you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. They've been doing that for more than 50 years. They'll get you in and out quickly. And while you wait, you can be productive. I tell you, there's all the time. There's Wi-Fi. There's a coffee station. They have flat screen TVs and comfortable furniture. If you want to just get work done for the hour while you wait or whatever it may be, you can certainly do that. Or if you want to just relax and unwind, you can do that as well at Shawbills. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name brand tires at wholesale prices. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. If you haven't checked it out yet, Joe Burrow doing a weekly hit with Colin Cowherd on his Volume Sports Network. It was interesting because, I just mentioned the environment we're going to see at Kansas City, which is, arguably the best environment in the NFL. I mean, there are some great environments in the NFL, but Kansas City, for a lot of reasons, which has, it's often been described as sort of a college-like atmosphere, which you don't often see in the NFL. To go from that to what Joe Burrow described in the Super Bowl, I thought was pretty funny.
It felt like a dinner party and we were the entertainment. Because you come off a road game in Kansas City, a road game in Tennessee, and then your first home win in the playoffs in 30-some years, and then you go to the Super Bowl, and it's more corporate, and it just took a second to get used to. It didn't feel like a playoff football game. It was a weird feeling at the beginning, for sure.
When you think of it the way that Burrow pictured it, it's pretty fascinating considering it was at LSU, which is really the pinnacle of an environment. In 2019, around LSU was bonkers, and then to go into Cincinnati and have the experience you did, like you mentioned, in the playoffs, and then to the Super Bowl. The odd part about that also, of course, is the Super Bowl was in the Rams' home stadium. So you're talking about, even despite being in their own home stadium, it still had a corporate feel to it. He did talk in that interview about Jamar Chase, which I would recommend you go listen to. But the other interesting part, well, two things. One, Cowherd was one of the most vocal critics or let me not say critics, doubters of Joe Burrow when he was coming out of LSU. So it's interesting that they're doing this now. Clearly, Joe doesn't hold a grudge, but would be fascinated to hear. I'm sure Cowherd has talked about it since. But when Joe Burrow went to the Bengals, they were the Bungles. They sucked. There was a reason they were picking first. They were just a terrible franchise and have been for the better part of 3 decades. But Burrow said that he couldn't have scripted it better.
Year 3 in the system, I've seen a lot of more football than I had, that first year, and same coaches basically since my rookie season. Right. And I think that's so underrated across the league. You see a lot of these young guys with a different offensive coordinator each year, and you're learning a new offense, new language, new way of talking about every play each year. And I'm not sure that's a recipe for success. And so, the way that the front office has surrounded me with really good, smart people that understand the game, that play hard, and then the coaches that give us a great game plan each week. I mean, I really couldn't have asked for a better situation to come into the league to.
That is pretty fascinating. Maybe, just maybe, the Bengals have figured it out in more ways than just drafting Joe Burrow. All right, it's after further review. Really good one tonight. Chiefs, Chargers. We'll get a pick from the Otter when we wrap up AFR next.
AFR.
Tell you every day, Insurance Network of Louisiana, better coverage for less money. Give them a shout, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Let them shop independently for free to see if they can find you better coverage for less money. There is no catch. There's no fine print. There's no gag here. It's that simple. They go shop independently for free using the relationships they've built over all their years in business to see if they can get you better coverage for less money than you're currently paying. It's that easy. And it's totally free to have them shop. And one of two things happens. Either they come back for you like they did for me and say, hey, look, here's 3 different options of better coverage for less money than you're currently paying. Or they say, hey, look, we couldn't find you better coverage. What you got is perfect. And at least you know you're paying a fair price. What do you have to lose? Literally nothing. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111.
After further review with Matt Moscona, Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. We got one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable, the often incomprehensible, the Ott Father himself, Jimmy Ott, who got himself not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 tickets cashed last night by the Ott Father. Let's go, Jimmy Ott.
Well, you know, the power was shifting in the household. That little son of a gun comes home with a newspaper article. I said, hold on. Okay. All right, bro. All right.
I love
Let's
it.
go.
For those that missed it in the Advocate, there was a nice write-up on one Ethan Ott. So if you'd like to check that out, please do so.
And so I said, plus over 700 units. How you like me now? Huh? Oh, boy.
How you like me now?
Little dance off, baby. Dance off.
So good. All right, man. Well, awesome night last night.
Hey, another thing, huh? I'm glad to be back from San Diego, huh?
Oh, my God. I disallow you from ever going. You are forbidden. You are forbidden from going again. I refuse. I will not allow it.
I will be there again. I just am not calling him picks next time.
That's fair enough. Okay. We will all plan accordingly. Okay. All
yes.
right. Big one tonight on Thursday Night Football, man.
Yeah, big one. And, you know, I love betting this week of NFL because it's overreaction. And the betting public is going to – there's recency bias, and then there's recency bias with only one game as a sample size. So Kansas City couldn't have looked any better, but I'm not sure how good Arizona is. Mahomes, is he taking it personal? Is it a little extra, for him not having Tyreek Hill? But he looked fabulous. There's no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a public team to begin with. They're coming back home. I thought this line should have been 3. I think the Chargers have a legitimate shot at making a Super Bowl run. And they kind of kept the Raiders hanging around. Myself and 2 of my contributors on the podcast this week all have the Los Angeles Chargers plus a 4. So we're going with that. I do expect a lot of points if you want to do that. I'm not real big on that. I do have a money line parlay also in baseball tonight.
All right.
St. Louis and Minnesota pay like plus 115 or something. 2 favorites at home, so about 115. How about the Diamondbacks? A little walk-off at the bottom of the 10th.
I love it. Wait, you said St. Louis and Minnesota is the money line parlay?
Yes, St. Louis and Minnesota comes back to plus 115. But, yeah, we're taking the Chargers tonight plus the 4 points. So.
All right, Chargers plus 4, and then a St. Louis, Minnesota money line parlay in Major League Baseball tonight.
How about my boy from the Red Sox missing first base to eliminate the run? Hey, Musso, can you, boy, when he runs the first, touch the bag?
You're killing me, Otter. You're killing me, man. You're killing me. You doubled up my boys with run line and money line, and then that's how it hits.
Ding, ding, double ding.
All I'm talking about, cash and tickets, bro. Cash and tickets. Otter, Jolie Pearl?
Yes, sir. Annie's over here, and I'm waiting on the Advocate to come do a story on me. Come on, bro. Where you at?
7-0. Come on. Is there not a betting section of the Advocate? Let's get a story on the Otter 7-0 night.
He just scrambled eggs, biscuits, and cheese grits. How you like me now?
There you go. If you get a story done for going 7-0, do I get one for going 1-13 on Saturday?
Did you really?
I did Saturday. It was heinous. It was heinous, man. The only thing I hit was Tennessee plus the 7. Oh, man.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I do think there's
whatever. I went with Tennessee, whatever the line was. I don't remember.
I do think there's some real value. We'll play the explanations from Aaron Renning and Randy McKay, both professional sports gamblers, one from Las Vegas, one from South Dakota. So they'll be on right at the top of the show to explain their show. And don't forget, we've got it all back by popular demand. Max the Intern's primetime player props. Off to a great start last week, 0-3.
All right. Thank you, Otter. Have a great night. All right. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not Baton Rouge, 1045ESPN.com. Muse, what'd you learn?
Eli didn't know he was good until he was a sophomore at Newman.
A little weird. Paulie?
Mike Triplett, New Orleans Football.
Steve Robertson.
AFR.
Still loves the Fleur de Lis pizza. All right, we're getting on down the road. Brought to you by Mold Zero. Mold-0USA.com. Had a coworker actually call Mold Zero. Jim came out. They took care of their house. They just purchased a house. It was sort of a preventative measure that they took in their home to kill any pathogens, of course, potential mold, odor, all that stuff. This is a patented, Mold Zero uses a patented, non-toxic dry fog spray. It is safe for you, for your family, for your pets. You're only inconvenienced by being out of your house for a couple of hours while it dries. And it gets into every nook and cranny in the house and kills mold, eliminates odor and other pathogens, servicing the entire Baton Rouge and entire greater New Orleans areas, including the North Shore. Mold Zero USA. It's mold-0USA.com. Mold-0USA.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah.